Hi again. Let's continue our styles and working on this Android website page here. So in the last video, we used Flexbox to arrange everything in the header. Let's also use it to arrange these images. Now on the original Android site, you can see they have all the images kind of nicely arranged. I like this hover effect, is really cool, right? But the images are they kind of sit vertically like this with the text below them, and then all the images are arranged horizontally, right? So you can think of this in a couple ways, right? The image itself and the text below it is in an LI tag. So if I look at a section that has an image, you can see it's a UL, so it's a list of items, and then there's an LI that contains an image, an H4, and a span, right? So there's three elements here. There's the image, there's the H4, and then there's a span below it, okay? So if we think about this, the LI tags could be arranged with Flexbox by applying flex to the UL. So we could say all of the LIs within a UL are arranged horizontally. And then within the LI, if we use Flexbox here, we can say these three elements are all arranged vertically within the LI, right? Because they're all children. So we'll use Flexbox twice. Once here to get all the LI tags, flex direction will be row, and then we'll use it again on all the LI tags, and flex direction will be column. Okay, so let's give it a try. So for us, we have a section at the top, and then within any of the subsections, if there's a list, it's always a list of these images. So there isn't a list that does something else. So we can actually just use the child selector. So I'll say section, and when there's a section that's a child of another section, then that's one of these subsections. And then inside that section, if there's a UL, let's arrange it, right? So let me go back to my page, and here's what my phones look like. They're all kind of vertical, right? So, oh yeah, and this is a UL, so we might as well use text decoration none to get rid of the bullet, and then remove the margin and padding. Let's just actually do that first. So I'm going to say, padding, oops, I need another D, padding 0, margin 0, and then I'll say list style none. Okay? So now let's do, and actually if we refresh and look at that, you can see that the padding is gone and the bullet is gone, right? So now let's use Flexbox. So let's say display flex, and by default it should do row, but I'll just spell that out. So I'll say flex direction is row. Okay, so that looks pretty good, right? Everybody's in a row. Now they're not in the middle though, right? So I kind of want them in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say justify content, because that applies to the main axis. So, if we're going in row, we can imagine there's a string that runs across here, and these things are all going to slide on that string horizontally, right? So, and then actually we can scroll down here too. We can see these phones all follow the same outline. Oh, actually this one has a broken link. We'll fix it, right? Okay, so let's do justify content center. Okay, now they're all in the middle, and if I change the size of the page, they should stay in the center. And there's not enough space between them, so we can fix that later. We'll set on the LI, we'll give it some margin so it pushes away, so these push away from each other and give them each a little bit of space. Okay. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Yeah, now what are we going to do? Well, yeah, let's use Flexbox vertically here. Now, vertically, usually these things stack up horizontally, or like horizontally first, right? But we'll use Flexbox anyway, and then we can use justify content and align items to align them, right? So let's say section child. This gets a little long here. You know, we could have put a class name on it, but just for fun, we'll do it this way. I'll say section, top level section with a child that is a section and a child that's a UL. And when that UL has a child LI, should be these guys here. And we'll style those LIs in this way. We'll say display flex. Flex direction is column. And what are we going to do here? Let's do, actually that's pretty good. And we can do justify. Actually, we don't even need to do justify content for now. Well, let's just try this. So there we go. Everybody's aligned. And then these guys. Oh yeah, let's look at the tablets. Okay. So these look pretty good. Here's where we could get some mileage out of justify content. So those look okay, but on the Android site, they are all aligned at the bottom, right? So remember, when we're aligning vertically like this, this is justify content, right? Because we're flex direction column, and right now they're all aligned flex start. So they start at the top of the column. So what I'll do is I'll go here and I'll say these should be justify content flex end. And when I refresh, you'll see they align at the bottom. Let's fix this Sony link right here is not working. Let's fix that one because I remember that one actually is missing its oh yeah, there it is. It's missing its tag. I'm just going to copy this here, paste it in there, and then this one should be Sony, right? I'll even change the text here so it'll be like Sony Xperia. There we go, right? Oh, there we go, right? Hey, that looks pretty good. This phone is also taller, so it would, like, you know, if they were not lined up vertically, it would look a little weird, right? Okay, so that looks pretty good, but actually, I want to take the text at the bottom here and align it with the center of the picture, okay? For these guys, it's the cross axis, right? So that means we're going to use align items there. So justify content, the main axis, since it's vertical, we can push them all the way to the top, push them to the bottom, put them in the middle. But for the cross axis, that's going to run along horizontally, right? So what we'll do is we'll say align items, and we'll say center. Hey, that looks pretty good, right? Let's add a little bit of space here in between everything, right? So we're styling the LI, so why don't we give each one of these guys a little bit of margin? Why don't we say margin of like 1em? Hey, that looks pretty good, right? Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So why don't we call that done for this video, and then we can do some other things in the next video, and thanks for watching. I hope that's helpful.